I do have it set to auto fade. It is me. Hi, welcome to the live stream on a Sunday this week. I missed last week because last week was just brutal. It's too much going on. So I am back. Hi, welcome. So I mean, not much. If you joined me last week, I told. I think was last week. I don't remember. It was like I think it was the week after my mom passed away. You know, I'm getting all the affairs settled. Everything's all good. I'm just throwing myself into a bunch of stuff to do stuff because that's what I do. So I wrapped up a show of Little Mermaid back last weekend, last Sunday. I didn't stream because I had a one of those brutal matinee show days. One of those things where we had a matinee at 2, we got 1 hour off, like 1 hour and a half off, and we're back to do the whole thing over again. And Little Mermaid is one of those shows that's super taxing. Like it's just so much. I'm just seeing, make sure. Yeah, okay, we're still rolling here. Hi, says Poe Eep 45. How you doing? I should get my chat thing up so I can see what your chats are coming through. So last week was fun. Call it that. Yeah, pull that and then view. There we go. All right, cool. Hey, Certain Exposures, how you doing? Pop you up there. So last week, Saturday and Sunday was just like brutal. And I didn't stream on Saturday and I was so wiped out on Sunday. I was like, I need to just stare at the wall for a while. Hey, Vax Victus. Don't worry about having to watch the whole thing because I'm not sure anybody could. This is one of those, like, I mean, maybe, I don't know how many people are familiar with the live stream. I've been starting to get into a lot in live streams. It's totally cool to come and dip in and out, just hang out for a little bit if you're live. And if you don't see it live, you know, whenever I do a topic, I will put the topic in the first 20 minutes. Like you'll see the topic almost the first 20 minutes it's almost there, all there. The whole thing is just me hanging out with you, chatting with you guys. In fact, today I have to go probably I'm going to keep it about an hour and a half today just to hang out with you guys. And, hey, MJ, one of the Iran's TV channel uses my content without copyright. I hope they use they should put the copyright video. I really wish. They've been saying that. I'm kind of surprised the Iranian television still uses my videos because I got that like 5 or 6 years ago. Like really, really long time that they're saying the Iranian TVs were using my videos, which, you know, what can I do? I don't think they're a signatory to the. I mean, I have no like recourse at all. Hey, Hardcore Mortars, I'm still around. Yeah, I was just explaining. So last week, I was totally like dead tired after Saturday, and Sunday was like. I was gone. I'm doing my job of the hut. No, so I was so done on Sunday that I couldn't do anything. So I've been working on just kind of putting stuff back together again. I started working on the next video, which is going to be 2 videos. I'm going to shoot. I booked the location I want to do it. I want to do it at a like a nice looking facility. So I have a community center. My library has a community room that I can rent for relatively inexpensive. So I'm renting a community room, and we're going to do a video on how to direct a multicam shoot as a solo shooter. I'm trying to think of the best way to go about that title because titles are really important. Like titles and thumbnails are really important. Now, on the other hand, though, I have to understand. I have to accept the fact that a video about the technical intricacies of how to direct a multi-camera shoot as a solo shooter is not going to be a broad appeal topic. You know, like somebody, an 18-year-old kid who's just, you know, playing whatever the latest first-person shooter is, watching it, and then like putting something on the side screen. Hell, let me watch a video where this tubby guy talks about the strategies for shooting a multi-cam production as a solo shooter. It's not going to be particularly like as exciting as, you know, the history of high frame rate in gaming. I'm sure that's the other thing. Everything has a problem. MG, do I have no problem with this? I as far as the Iranian thing, I mean, what can I do? Do you know any lawyers in Iran that are willing to sue them on behalf of me? I mean, what can I do? it's not gonna, nothing I can do. Are they gonna send me some money? Am I gonna get money out of it? That's the only thing I do. All I can hope for is that Iranians will come and receive me as a source of knowledge, I guess. I mean, because there's nothing I can really do about it. Anyhow, so what was I saying? I forget. That's what the chats are for. They're for me interacting with the wall of text that's coming at me. And please feel free to chat your questions and all that. Anyhow, that's what I was saying. I have a multicam strategies, which I think is interesting. But then again, I'm a nerd, and I'm a filmmaker, and this is what I do I think about this stuff all the time. Maybe you don't, and maybe I do. Maybe that's why you're watching, because I think about it all the time. So it's something that maybe it's interesting for you guys to see. Anyhow, we're doing that, and we're also doing a table read. So I've got 3 scripts I've written so far, and I may try to add some more to that script thing. But they're domestic dramas, kitchen table dramas, I call them. It's not a term that I invented. It's something that I think was invented. It was invented in the television era early. Well, at least where I first discovered that term was in the television era. The guy that wrote 12 Angry Men. I forget his name. Chat will tell me. But anyways, he's talking about, he called them kitchen table dramas because they're dramas about domestic issues that have kind of a pointed societal kind of commentary, but they're surrounded in a domestic situation. And so I always liked them called kitchen table dramas, and one of them happens to be around the kitchen table. So that's why I came with that. So we'll be doing the theory with that is we'll be doing 3 table reads. I'm getting some actors together. We're gonna just read these scripts. The actors know that this is a table read. This is not they're not necessarily cast for this role. They're just friends of mine that want to do a table read. Okay, and then we're gonna put it to a vote. So you guys, we're going to be democratic. We're going to definitely utilize ancient Greek political philosophy to determine which one of these 3 shorts I will produce first. I may produce them all. I may produce or I may produce just one. But you decide which one I make, and then we'll go through the whole process: casting, shooting, and editing, and polishing, finishing off. And I'll make a little video about how to do that, right? So that's the plan, and that's coming up on 1st September. First, one bit says, a multicam video is super relevant to my work, video design work in theater, opera. Oh, cool. I'm looking to learning something I didn't know about that. Cool, yeah. I do touch on, and I should probably, so what I'm doing is, it's as a solo shooter for live event. Now, I will kind of include theater with that. If again, the realm I'm working on are very, very low budgets, where basically they can only afford one shooter. They only afford me to come in. I can come in. Look, I can come and make $500 for one shot at something. That's all and that's really all they can afford is $500. That's kind of a pricey ask. And then, hey, I get to keep that money, right, for one day. Well, 1.5 days of work. Not bad. But if once you get to larger scales, multiple camera operators, and all that stuff, it adds up pretty fast. So my multicam will be geared for people that are small one-time shooters. That sounds like a great idea. Well, thank you. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, I'm under no impressions that it will do very well. It's not a frame rate video. And those frame rate videos just they keep going. It's a nuts and bolts kind of video. It's more philosophical. I hope I'm getting across the idea that one of the points I was writing it yesterday, because my laptop, so yesterday, I gotta tell you the whole story. Yesterday I had a rehearsal in the morning in 11, a sound check at 11. We did a sits probe at 12 to about 2. Or 12 to 3-ish, and they let us break until 6. So I had some time. I brought my laptop. My laptop, for some reason, wouldn't go to sleep, or when I turned it off, it didn't turn off all the way. So when I put it in my backpack, it got super hot, burning hot. And I pull it out and go to the library to kind of do some drawing, do some work, and it was dead. I literally could not. I turned it on, and the lights came on, but the screen wouldn't come on. And I was like, oh, crap. Well, anyway, long story short, I tried for another couple hours to get to work. Didn't work. Finally, when I got home and it was hours later and cold, it finally turned on. So go figure. Well, I'll try not to keep that to burn up. Anyhow, so I was working on the script, long way around what I'm trying to get to. I was working, so I had some time. I was like, well, I can't draw. I can't do what I wanted to do. I had a comic book that I'm working on. I wanted to work on that. I can't do that, so I ended up just writing the script for this solo shooter. And the point I really wanted to get across, I just want to push this super hard, is that you have to know the purpose of what you're doing the video for. I feel like so many people, at least, I don't know, maybe from a producer perspective, from a director perspective, people obsess about the gear. People obsess about the shot. People obsess about even the sound. I mean, don't get me wrong, and there's a whole section where I'm just like, you got to get sound right. But I hope people start thinking not in terms of I'm bringing cameras to do something. No, I'm creating a document of something. And here's what a gear I'm going to need to create that document. Rather than thinking, I got all this gear, how can I make this gear work together? That's not the point. We want to create a document. We want to create a experience, a video. This live stream, even like right now when I'm talking to the camera, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I have to have a purpose. I'm not just doing this so that I can just turn cameras on and plug things in and get it to all work and like, oh, great. There's a lot of people there are a lot of people that get into the video business who just like want to play with gear. And that's fine. I enjoy playing with gear. Well, I to a much less extent now. I've gotten to the age where I don't really care so much about playing with gear. I'd rather produce something with the gear. So what I'm trying to drive home is the idea that you should walk into these projects with the purpose and understanding, why am I doing this? You know, and I give an example I do a student of the month program. I do like 4 student of the month programs every month. And why am I doing this? Well, obviously for a paycheck, you get paid a little bit. But the reason I'm doing this is to celebrate the student's success. What does that mean? That means when I'm framing the shot, this governs how I frame the shot. Everything is designed to do that one purpose. Everything is so. Am I going to include all the speeches given by all the dignitaries and all the sponsors in the final video? No, because it's not really real. It's about serving the student. So I cut out the whole program's like maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. I cut out 1 hour and get it down to 1 hour only. It's a 1 hour solo only. And it is about the students. How do you frame the shot? Well, if there's a student talking, you frame that student center. If the student is flanked by the principal and the teacher, if you cut off the principal teacher, who cares? It's about the student. Now, if the teacher is talking and the student's standing next to the student, what do? You frame the teacher and the student, because it's all about the student. Understanding, why are we doing this? What is the purpose? What is the function of what we're doing dictates how we do the shot, dictates how we craft the shot, how we craft everything. It's very, very important. Anyhow, that's the take I wanted to go with. I probably lost half of the live stream right there just by talking about it. That's how beautiful this conversation is. Super niche, right? But I hope it will kind of help people out. And part of me is like, well, maybe I'll get some students of mine that will, I'll put them in positions to do this job for me, and I'll show them this video because that's kind of what I wanted to do. Obviously I can't do all, I'm trying to get some more student of the month programs because I like doing them and they get a little bit of money from them, but it'd be cool to be able to put them on to other, students and stuff like that. Robert says, thank you for correcting me on the why does distance not affect exposure video. Oh, you were the one there. Oh, my drink's over here. You clarify my thoughts. Inverse square law helped me understand the physics of light a bit more. Robert, after I wrote the comment back to you, I thought of an experiment that I did, and it makes sense. So imagine taking a camera and shooting a string of Christmas tree lights, right? You take it, and then you look at it on a waveform monitor. So we're talking about, does distance affect exposure? And the idea is that light drops off the inverse square, right? I'm giving people context. Light drops off as the inverse of the square of the distance, right? So why does a camera far away not see that thing dimmer? Well, it's because the angle of view is directly the opposite. Is the opposite of the inverse square law. But the thing is, like, well, then why is it if you have a camera, if a light bulb here and a camera over here, and then you zoom in, do you lose it? Do you drop exposure? Like if I took a camera shooting some Christmas lights, 10 feet or 10 meters, doesn't matter away, and then I zoom in, would the Christmas lights decrease in brightness? And the answer is surprisingly yes. They would, because you're increasing the same amount of light that's falling on the camera from that Christmas tree, but now you're expanding the angle of view of the Christmas light. Same thing can happen if you take a Christmas lights and you pull focus, so you blur them out to become a bokeh ball. The bigger you make the bokeh ball, guess what? The dimmer, the less bright the ball becomes. If you make it a sharp point light, it's very bright. But as soon as you blur it out, it gets bigger and bigger, it gets dimmer and dimmer, right? So that's the same kind of concept. You're taking that same amount of light, but you're spreading it out over a larger area. Make sense? I hope so. Or you're going to lose a bunch of people. So what if you don't know the purpose of the shot until you get to the location? Then you're really screwed. Now you should always know the purpose of the shot, like the overarching purpose. And then when you get there, you figure out how to accomplish it. So I'm talking about like the overall purpose, as in like the bigger, how this fits into what you're trying to do. Right. So, if you're, again, and the answer usually is pretty common. Like if I'm asked to shoot a recital, what am I shooting? Why am I shooting a recital for? Am I shooting a recital so I can get my toys out and play with them? No, I'm shooting a recital so that the musician, has a recording of their performance. Now, what does that recording and performance entail? Well, it sure as hell better entail a good audio recording, right? Like that's the thing. Like every time, and this bothers me a lot. Well, what can I say? I'm a professional. A lot of people aren't, so that's the way it is. But if any musician or performance artist or any kind of performance asks for you to videotape their event, it doesn't mean jack unless it has great sound. Like if I go and record a recital and I have crappy sound, is that video worth a damn? No. Like that video is not worth anything. In fact, you could have just had your mom shoot on her cell phone vertical video and it would be just as good, maybe even better, because hell, she's probably a little closer than you are than the camera. Sound is super important. In fact, I would say, the old saying that sound is half the picture, is George Lucas would say that. I would say in production, live event video, sound is like 90% of the video, of the picture. Okay, if you don't have great sound, if you have great sound and your picture is like so-so, it's still watchable. But if your sound is great and you have a black image or just nothing, people still play it. But sound is way more important than visual. Now, maybe that's a nuance that I get that maybe other people don't get. As a professional, that's how I feel. Okay, I lost a job to recording a symphony because the other group, the city that was putting some money into it, brought out their camera crew to shoot it. Okay, and they had 3 cameras. I only bring 2 cameras, but they had 3 cameras, a lot of great camera angles, and all that stuff. But then I asked them, okay, well, they say, well, he's doing it. The city's doing it for free, so we don't really need to hire you. I get it. No hard feelings. We're cool. Then he's like, oh, you had great visuals. I said, well, how did it sound? Because I know they don't bring out microphones. They don't bring out microphones to record an orchestra. How did it sound? It's like, well, it didn't sound very good. Then what's the point of the video? Why do you want a video of an orchestra playing if it doesn't sound good? So, I mean, look, I can do sound for the orchestra. I don't do like 100 mics. I just do like 2 or 4, depending on what's going on. But I try to capture sound, from the perspective of the conductor. I've had conductors kind of tell me how to record sound, and trust me, conductors generally are not very good at. I honestly, well, maybe it's just my own opinion. I don't believe conductors understand how to record sound. They think, oh, we want sound more from the middle. We want to hear it from the middle of the hall. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You want to hear it from where you're standing. Like I think the best sound is probably where the conductor is standing. But if you put it in the middle of the hall, you're getting all the ambient sound. You're not hearing. But we want to hear the blend. Maybe the blend isn't as good as you thought it was. Never mind. There we go. All right. I've been looking for intense official guide to making fantastic audio for shorts, recording and mixing. So my take on audio, maybe I should go back and do another, like an audio series. I don't know if I wouldn't say I can make the best audio. There's that another guy that does audio. He does all these reviews of his audio is excellent. My audio is like, I could use a little bit of work, but my audio is serviceable. But this other guy that I think his name is Mike, I can't remember. If you look him up, you'll see all his videos. The thing with audio though is I don't think it's that hard. I think, I know, I just got all the sound guys just coming crashing my door. Like, how dare you say that? I don't think audio is necessarily as hard as shooting good visuals. Sorry, it's just true. That's my opinion. I think audio, if you reach a certain threshold, it's good enough, and then you can kind of tweak it a little bit in post. But part of what I really learned in audio that kind of made the big old difference, I kind of shared in my video about why you don't need to record 32-bit float. Because if you're diligent about recording proper levels, you can get away with a lot. Don't put the mic like 20 feet away from people and expect good audio. You want to get on the mic. You want to get on top of the mic, but you want to keep the levels under control. And that's about it. You can tweak EQ and you can kind of do all that. That's more advanced stuff, and I'm not the perfect guy to tell you about that. But if you can get serviceable audio, you can do all that tweaking later, as long as you get decent audio. And that's about mic placement and keeping your levels under control. And that's it. That really is it. You've got so much dynamic range with 24-bit. You've got so much dynamic range. It's unbelievable how much range you have. So it's like literally taking a camera, like 24 bits. That's 144 decibels. So if you want to compare that to like stops, how many stops that would be? That'd be an insane number of stops, like 20 stops or something like that. Like, you got way more dynamic range in your audio recording than you do in video. Anyhow, whatever. Let's see, what is this? How does the writer's strike affect the video industry in LA? It doesn't, because the writer's strike they work with studios. So writers, WGA only affects WGA's signatories. So all corporate video is probably having a boon because they got all these guys on strike that can take actors. Actors are willing to work with, they're all non-union work. So it doesn't affect, all that union stuff doesn't affect any of the video stuff. Because none of the video companies are really, and they wouldn't be they'd be under AFTRA. I guess they'd be under broadcasting. So you would have that issue. If you are a broadcast video, I don't do a lot of broadcast. But in corporate market and all that stuff, it doesn't affect us at all. So. All right. Yep, the example of the Christmas lights. So I did that example in my exposure videos. That's how I was able to basically control how bright something was by just making it out of focus. Anyhow, Curtis Judge, that's what it is. Marcus Picks, I think Marcus, but Curtis was who I was talking about. Curtis's audio is fantastic. I don't even know how he does that. It's so clean. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's one of those things where it's my own voice, so I don't think it's very clean, and I don't like the way it sounds. And then I'm not that picky. I'm okay with my voice. I recorded audiobooks and edited my own audiobooks, and that sounds pretty decent. But Curtis's audio is so stinking good. It's so clean. I wish I could do that. I probably could if I sound treated this room a bit better. That's probably one of the things I gotta do, because I think there's a lot of like really hard reverbs in this room that are probably catching it. And then probably apply certain kind of, he dials it in a certain way that I'm not privy to. So, Pantene shampoo, says Ethandroid. You know how much money I saved on shampoo since I started shaving my head? A lot. I used to use the T-Gel because I used to have like dandruff, and it was just major dandruff. I couldn't, nothing I could do to get rid of it. But then I used that T-Gel extra strength or whatever, and that in the secret ingredient of T-Gel, Neutrogena T-Gel, the tagline was, "It works," and believe me, it does. The secret ingredient, coal tar. Yeah, baby, coal tar. I was putting coal tar in my scalp, and it totally fixed it. I had no problem. I didn't have like the dandruff issues I had anymore after using that stuff. So definitely recommend the coal tar in T-Gel. Although I don't have to worry about it because I do not have the hair to worry about it, which is awesome. I gotta be honest. Turn it up. Yeah, louder. Wow, I'm a monster. I devour. Wow, you don't even got no power. Nah, you don't even put in no hours. Thank you, L-Man, for that. That was awesome. Thanks. So the unions are just for corporate studios. Yeah, so the unions are, they're entertainment unions, and Writers Guild is for like studios that have large engagements and all that. They aren't for and they work primarily in the narrative field. So the WGA, I don't believe, are involved with like they're not involved with corporate work because that's all non-union. There's no unions involved with there. And they're not involved. I don't know if they're involved with documentary, although I bet you they probably are. The Screen Actors is a little different because Screen Actors are joined up with AFTRA, which is the television broadcasting stuff. So they are kind of interrelated. I'm not sure if radio broadcast is in there or not. I think they might have. Well, no, I think they're probably in there. I wonder if the radio people are affected too. I'm not familiar with that. But yeah. But as far as like doing small corporate work, we don't have contracts like that. So we're not union. And there a lot of people like my friend who's went to what's called FICOR, which is he's union, but he's not a voting member of the union. So he's paying like 96% of the dues. So that last 4% he gets to save off. But he's a non-voting member, but allows him to engage in non-corporate work. And he was telling me that his agent's like, don't tell anybody this. I'm not naming names here, so don't tell me this, but thanks for doing that because I can get you a lot more work. Anyhow. How do people on strike get paid? I don't think they do. That's the thing. Or are they part of progressive movement at Skid Row and down, or are they part of that progressive movement? No, they don't get paid. I think what happens with the union is that the union has like certain reserves that they maybe give out to people or something like that. You know how like you hear stories about so-and-so donating a certain amount of money to the fund or whatever. So that's what it is. Now, I wouldn't lump necessarily the progressive movement with the unions because I'm generally on your side. Like I'm not a progressive. Right? I don't like progressive policies necessarily, but this is a situation where I'm kind of leaning more union side, and the reason. Well, we can talk about this. The reason why is hold on, let me just pop the chat off so it's not on there forever. I think what's happened. This is my take, and this is what I hear. So I watch a lot. I like really been getting into a film thread a lot. I like film Chris Gore, partly because he's an older man. I like people with a little more experience in industry, and Chris Gore seems to be an interesting guy. But he was floating this theory out, and I've heard this too, and I kind of get this idea too, that the streamers are hemorrhaging money. And if you look at the stories, you heard about Disney Plus losing billions. They're totally losing money. Because the fact of the matter is people are watching streaming, but they're not watching streaming in the numbers that generate the kind of money that they think they're going to make. Because after all, you pay $15 a month or $50 or $18 or $20 a month to Netflix, and you watch whether you watch an hour or whether you watch 1,000 hours a month, it doesn't matter. You're paying the same rate. So, you can have a show on Netflix, and it makes a certain amount of views. It doesn't equate to necessarily the same amount of money as you could make if you ran on television and you ran ads against it. Because every time you ran syndication, you ran a television show, you put some ads on it, you make a few $1,000s for one spot. You add that up, makes a buttload of money after time. So what I'm thinking, this is what my thought is, that the producers, that the distributors are kind of accustomed to making the kind of money you would get in broadcast. And the writers are kind of like, hey, I wrote for the Big Bang Theory. I wrote one episode, I'm making so this much money a month. Because there's a lot more money in syndication. However, you go to streaming, there's hardly any money in streaming. And maybe the executives are trying to keep their same salaries going to streaming, but the fact is the actual numbers to pay the writers, to pay the actors, is minuscule in streaming. I mean, heck, I do YouTube. So, and the thing is, though, the streamers can't necessarily release the numbers, because if they were to release the numbers and tell the actors and the writers how many people are actually watching their content, then Wall Street will find out, say, hey, you're getting how many views? That's it? That's all you're getting? So the Wall Street will basically take a dump on their stock price, because they're going to find out that streaming is kind of a big giant pyramid scheme. And then I think that's the impasse. I think the problem is the model sucks and the model is not working. And but the producers aren't going to admit that, because I was telling my friends, like, okay, tell me, how many people do you think are watching She-Hulk right now? Like this last week, how many views do you think She-Hulk got? And I think the answer is going to be like less than the number of people watched my videos, and that's pathetic. So Nate Dolar and L Man are having fun, going back and forth. I don't know what they're doing, because I was on a rant. Bro, what the F? You have a photo of Vlad Dagulin as your avatar? I have no idea what's going on, so I will ignore your guys' little feud. Have fun. Ethan Droid does, I do sketch comedy instead of YTPs. YTPs seem like a YT. Okay, so I'm an old man, as you can tell. I'm very, very old. So I teach a class, and I do teach. I tell the students this. I tell them this for their final project, which is a documentary, and it can be all kinds. I've described like 6 different types of documentary you can make, and one of those documentaries includes a meta documentary, which is what mockumentaries fall under. So they asked me, does it have to be true? I was like, no. Make a documentary. It doesn't have to be true. Hell, half the documentaries in this world are not true. They call it the news. Inject some political intrigue. But anyhow, I tell them, be careful with comedy. I say, be careful with actors, because this class is not designed to teach you about acting, how to direct an actor. This class is just teach you how to basically make some videos, and how we just kind of get into the process of making videos and thinking about videos and all that stuff. We don't talk about directing. We don't talk about acting. So be careful. Be careful with. I've had so many students say they're going to make a mockumentary. They get a bunch of their friends. Oh, we're funny. We can do this, and they shoot it, and they're very disappointed. Like, oh man, I couldn't get them to act. I couldn't, comedy's hard. Comedy's tough. It's tricky. So, the point was, I guess, so the point with YTPs. So, they'll make it, and they'll feel bad about themselves. And they show it to class, and the class thinks it's funny. And personally, I don't think it's particularly funny, because I'm an old man. But the kids seem to fucking think it's. Oh, I just swore there. Kids just think it's hilarious. Just think it's like, oh my god, this is funny. This is so funny. This is such a funny thing. And I'm like, it doesn't really do anything. I don't get why you're laughing at that. But that's what YTPs are. If you don't know what YTP is, YouTube poop. And basically, they take a video, like one of my popcorn videos. People were like, there was me and this other guy, this British guy, Nigel or something, and Nigel took it really offended by it, I guess, and he got like super angry, and because of that, he Streisand himself, right? So you get angry, react to it. That's what I should have done. I should have been really angry about it. I should, oh my god, I can't believe you took my video, and then I become the face of YouTube poop. That would have been that's what my strategy should have been. Dang it, should have done that next time. But I loved it because they took my video and they had like do all kinds of weird editing trick, and it just became a thing, and it was just crazy. Anyhow, all right, what's up? Hey, Jack D. Ripper. I hope I'm well. I'm doing okay. We'll be okay. Working my way through it. Vay Victus is here. I'm here to just make random compliments. Well, I appreciate that very much. All right. Remember, you made the V2 poop with the aspect ratio? I don't remember did you? I think. Oh, yeah. You put the Shane clip in there. I like that. That was fun. No, YouTube poops are, I mean, I don't necessarily find them that funny. I mean, they can't, I guess the best ones I can find are kind of works of art. Because it's amazing how much work goes into these things, you know? But, oh, William Friedkin died? That sucks. I gotta look that up now real quick. William Friedkin, how old was he? Search. Yeah, I rather remember William Friedkin. Yeah. Exorcist, with Red Connection, Sorcerer, Killer Joe. August 7th. Oh, that was last week. That's sad. How 87. He made a nice long life there. That's good for him. All right, what are we doing here? Let's go back. It is hot. It is hot. Why am I ignoring your comments? I don't know. Have you written any comments I should read? Write other ones I can read it. Put it in a form of a rap, and if it Tubular Bells theme intensifies, ding, that's for sure. Oh, did I see Oppenheimer? No, I have not. I only get negative feedbacks, which lines up with my impression I got from the trailer, so probably won't see it. I have not seen it because I was going to see it in 70 millimeter. As you know, every 70 millimeter is booked to infinity and beyond. And I'm not, you've seen those memes of what it looks like, what Oppenheimer looks like from the front row, where it's just like Cillian Murphy with a big giant chin. What's that one dude? The famous the bodybuilder dude that's always on the memes. It's like the big freaking chin. And so I never got to see it with a 70 millimeter, and I just got sucked up in all these shows and just dealing with, just life in general. Oh, I also did a State of the City video that came out on last Thursday, and that was amazing. Also went to see Peter Pan Goes Wrong. And let me get one comment before I talk about Peter Pan Goes Wrong, so we'll talk about that in a sec. Opinion on the 2010 Dacia Duster. Never heard of it. So that was my quick answer to that. Use Final Cut Pro for the YTP poop. Took a long time to replicate the effects Sony Vegas and After Effects. Yeah, I imagine so. Any great film lately? I did watch. I really enjoyed Jersey Boys. I just saw that the other day, last couple nights ago. I put it on there because I figured, well, I was feeling like shit. Honestly, I was just the worst depression era, and I was like, Jersey Boys, sure, why not? And I really enjoyed Jersey Boys. I don't think it was a perfect movie, but I really enjoyed it. I really dug it, and yeah, I would recommend Jersey Boys. I think it's an interesting movie. The one song that got me tear up, I guess it was a super depressed mood, was that song. How's it? Da 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 da. I miss you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I'm glad you're alive. It's too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Dun 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 dun. And they kind of ended the movie that way, and it was so like really, really, really hit me really hard. Arnold, screw your freedoms, Schwarzenegger. Take your vaccines and pump yourself up with the vaccines. Yeah. All right. Do you think that the greatest films have ever been made? No, I don't. Because I think also think that there's an interplay between movies and the culture. Like what the 40s sees as the best movie in the 40s doesn't resonate with what movies in 2020. And I'll bet you take a movie from 2020 and you take it to the 1940s and show it to the audience then, they won't get it either. It won't resonate the way it does with the 2020 audience. And it's not just technologically. Like, even if you just take the tech from the 40s, there's a cultural communication. It's like saying, is the greatest art ever made? Is there such thing as the greatest art? Anyhow. All right. Oh yeah, nice guys. Nice guys. All right. Arrow 2244. Don't know what that is either. Do you have any good books for filmmaking and lighting we would recommend? I like the book, The Seven Elements of Visual Style is like a seminal book for everybody who's interested in visual arts, all visual arts. 7 Elements of Bruce Block, I want to say, is his name. Get that book. That's my off the top recommendation for everybody. There's several like basic beginning movie construction books out there. They're all pretty good. The ones that are really popular, the really old looking ones. The old ones are the good ones. But the 7 Elements, Bruce Block, that's the book. Like, that's conceptually important to understanding how visual medium works, and it's super super important. I think that was the book that kind of transcended me a little bit. I'll get to Peter Pan in a second, I swear. During the Barbie arc of YouTube drama, I noticed all the right-wing critics on YouTube bashed any message in the movie they don't like, while the left complained about crap not even in the movie. I feel like there is sort of the Barbie movie is the gift that won't stop giving, folks. It is awesome. We've milked this thing for a month and a half. Shoe on Head had a video out where she was talking, and then her boyfriend, whose name is Eudaimonia, is a hardcore right-winger, a hardcore right-wing Catholic that says the movie is amazing, and it's a amazing metaphor for Homeric Odyssey kind of parallels, and lots of big words that I'm not good because I can't read. That's right, I can't read. I'm just kidding. I can read, but not very well. So I don't read classics. I'm not good at that. I'm not. My friend who's got a degree in Latin. It's like, how can you do that? It's not in my wheelhouse. Anyhow, so he loves the movie. We have Sargon of Akkad over there saying it's really good. There's so much we can. The thing I think what bothered me most about the Barbie movie was like how it kind of it felt to me like the right wing critics, the Ben Shapiro's and stuff like that, even Critical Drinker in some extent, that it was just audience capture, expected food fodder for people that follow that. You know, that just when you hear the word patriarchy, your balls shrivel up into your stomach. It's like, no, look at I know I give Greta Gerwig, my friends who don't know who who didn't know who Greta Gerwig was before the Barbie movie, they think that, she's just like, I've seen her stuff before. I'm very much more impressed with her than people are now. Maybe I think that she hasn't necessarily come to the same conclusions of thinking these things all the way through, and maybe not, because we all come from different perspectives. So it's totally understandable that, she may not arrive at the same conclusions that I do after thinking about things. But I think the great thing about her is, or at least the great thing about Greta Gerwig, the way she's even marketing the movie, is she's saying, I'm surprised that people are angry at this movie. I want everyone to come enjoy it. Versus, if you don't enjoy it, you're a sexist homophobe, right? No, she's saying, I wanted to make something that you all enjoyed. That's different. That's a different take, and people are like, well, everyone's mind reading. Anyhow, I promised you, Barbie is doing more ticket sales in red states. Yeah, it's true. That could also be explained by the fact that there are more families in red states, and Barbie is sort of a family product. So that makes sense. Can I do a Werner Herzog impression? Oh, that's a hard one. First you have to see. The structure of the universe is decidedly unimportant when I don't know. I think I'm channeling Alpha Centauri, which I'm watching a lot of videos about. Right, the structure of the universe is the fire of the flower must be coming to the strain of what it means to be. And to be is to exist in some sort of planar form. That's this is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop this before you get crazy. Anyhow, Great Critical Drinker, and he stated that Gran Turismo and Mission Impossible 7 were good movies in his opinions. I've heard Gran Turismo has been good from Critical Drinker and Kermode. If Kermode, who's politically the opposite of Critical Drinker, likes Gran Turismo, I'm like, maybe I'll probably catch it on streaming, honestly. I don't have time right now to go see movies, but I'll probably catch it on stream. Okay, let's talk about Peter Pan Goes Wrong. I did a performance of Peter Pan in the Moonlight Theater about 7 years ago. And we're talking, and then people were saying, oh, it's funny. I went online and I saw this amateur production where they had Peter Pan on the strings, and something got out of control, and the Peter Pan goes flying into the scenery, and it just crashes everything. I was like, oh, I'd love to see this. So on YouTube, I typed in Peter Pan Goes Wrong, thinking like, And I discovered this professionally produced show called Peter Pan Goes Wrong on the BBC. And since then, I have been absolutely in freaking love with this company called Mischief Theater. Now, Mischief Theater is it started off with a show that they created called The Show That Goes Wrong. And it's basically, the whole premise is it's the Cornell Polytechnic University Dramatics Club presents this show. And it's populated by ego-obsessed, proper, like John Cleese style, like British actor, director, and then he's got this like the heavy-set fat guy who's like thinks he's an excellent actor, but he screams everything. He got the dumb guy whose name's Dennis, and he's just like he can't remember his lines, so everyone has to like cue him. You got the smiley face guy, we call him Smiley Face in my friend circles, and he's just kind of like he's just happy to be there. He's happy to be in a production, and he kind of always smiling at the audience. And you got the girl who kind of thinks herself as like super sexy. Anyhow, you got all these characters, and they put on these plays. And Peter Pan Goes Wrong is like probably I don't know the exact order, but basically they're trying to put on Peter Pan. But everything falls apart. Like they get on stage, he puts his jacket on the hook on the scenery, but turns out the hook is just painted on. Stuff like that. They forget their lines. They miss up the lines. The stuff falls down, hits them on the head. Chaos. It's the most amazing, like crafted, like all this chaotic stuff happening, and they do it in such a beautiful way. And the reason I love them, and I mean I absolutely love them, is because I can see the work. I can see it. It's like I just recognize it. Like no one they don't sit down and just start typing. And then out comes this amazing work. No. You know what's happening. They come up with an idea, and they get together with the three main character writing friends, the heavyset guy, the director, and Dennis. So those are three main writers. And then they bring their cast together, and they run the scene, and they play, and they play, and they play, and this guy comes with an idea. I don't know this for a fact, but I can sense. I just feel it in my heart. This guy comes with an idea. What if I did this? What if I did this? What if I like that? Let's bring that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. And you can see it layering and layering and layering and layering and layering. And it just comes so thick with jokes, so thick with physical comedy. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. So Facebook knows me so well. It knows everything about me, and even knows what kind of women I prefer. Oh, no, it doesn't. Actually, it's very bad at that. But anyhow, Facebook knows me, so it said, hey, John, the original cast, that's the original writers, the London cast, the original guys, will be in L.A. Do you want to go see it? I'm like, yes! So I saw it on Wednesday night. I went to have Korean barbecue, because Korean barbecue is awesome. And then I went to see with my two friends, Joe and Tim, and I went to see Play But Goes Wrong, and I freaking Loved it every second. Unfortunately I do have most of that play memorized because I've seen it millions of times. It's on YouTube. The whole BBC production is on YouTube. The play version obviously is a little different because it's a play. But most of it's fairly faithful in the BBC. It's on YouTube. Just look it up. Peter Pan Goes Wrong, and I just love those guys. See, Jack D. Ripper said he saw it on my recommendation. He loved it. I told you. If Jack Ripper could watch it and love it, or he's already from London, so Jack the Ripper. There he goes. Yeah, Bruce Block, The Visual Story. Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. You can tell they love theater. The other thing I like about, I not trying to inject too much politics into it, but I like the kind of politics they present, which is not political. None of the humor is political. None of the humor is mean necessarily. It's all playful. But I love the fact that when they try to champion a cause, maybe this is a British thing, but when actors champion a cause in America, it's always kind of annoying. But the British seem to, when they champion a cause, it's usually like hospitals and helping sick kids and stuff like that. It's like it generally feels like a good cause, whereas Americans seem to be like, it just seems more crass in the United States. I don't know. But the good thing about so at the end of the play, they all come up and they do their bows, and then they bring up the stage crew, and the stage crew comes up with them, and they all form a big giant front, and they all take a bow. And then if you watch some of the behind the scenes, so they made a BBC show called The Show That, or the show that goes, no, what was it called? I forget. Well, it's a TV show that goes wrong, or something like that. And they do a play every single week, and it's fall. But when you watch the behind the scenes, like it was during COVID, at least during COVID, so they took like videos of themselves during at home watching the show, and they would talk about, oh, there's that guy, that's the set designer, that's the dressing. They all loved the crew. And they would all make every effort to kind of like mention that they loved the crew. And if I could choose what to do with my life and then just pick something, that would be it. I would love to work with that, work with them. I still love film because to me, film has that lasting. I can do more with film. Film has that, it never changes. Theater is like, it's magic. It just poof and it's gone, and that's cool. That's great. I love that. But I do like watching things a billion times. And like I made a commercial for the State of the City. I did this. So we copied this video copied a California tourism commercial. We made our own version for the city, and I pulled all the stops. I did everything I could possibly imagine putting in there, and it was great. I liked it, but I must have watched it like 800 times. I keep telling people like, oh, I've watched it 50 times. Like, that's cute. I've watched it 800 times. I've watched it so many times. I'm kind of sick of watching it, and it's hard to say because I've only watched it 800 times. Do you know any films being shot entirely in first person? I shot Russian Ark from the 2000s, shot one take, all first person, and liked the effect. Hardcore Henry is the famous one. It's a very limited genre. It's because there's things you can do. Oh, Peep Show. Watch Peep Show. That's a good show. It's all entirely first person. Not all the same first person, but it's all first person. Yeah, Peep Show is good. Imagine someone gender swapping Twilight Saga and marketing to men. That would be a fun thing to do. I like doing gender swaps when it's actually a pointed examination of why what would the other gender react to it. So I wanted to do Glengarry Glen Ross with gender swap because I think women in that position might bring something different to the dialogue. It would look different, obviously, right? With women saying Glengarry Glen Ross dialogue. So if we were to imagine a male-centric Twilight Saga, I mean, it'd be a lot more about the battle scenes, right? Because it'd be more about Edward Cullen versus the I mean, it's sort of Edward. It's sort of Arthurian, right? It's a little bit of King Arthur versus Lancelot. We can have that situation because they're all both aiming for the same girl, Guinevere. So it might be kind of like that. I don't think you can necessarily do wrong. I don't think you could go wrong with a male marketed toward men. It would just be it would just emphasize other things. It would emphasize the battle between the two guys over the girl, right? I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, we've had movies like that. We've had plenty of stuff like that. But it'd be more about the fighting. It'd be more about the action between the two. So, not that far off. Will mock the anti-social networker Zuckerberg versus Elon. Most likable free speech communist must be the most entertaining audio-visual event of the year. Probably. Hopefully. It's going to make $1 billion. It's all going to go to charity. Hopefully for charity, like helping people rather than some crass nonsense. Yeah, Peep Show is really like, well, you can tell it's Mark and Jez, but what's their real names? I forget. But you can tell that they surround them. It's kind of a mistake to think that those two are like the writers and the directors and the shooters and all. They're not. They are. I don't think Peep Show is necessarily written by those two. They might be contributor writers, but I think there's other people involved in the writing duties of Peep Show. But it's so well done. The affective, or I'm not even sure that's the proper word for it. The conceit, that's the word I'm looking for. Conceit, Mitchell and Webb. Thank you, Mitchell and Webb. Mitchell, thank you, Katie Master. The conceit of the show is so, after a little bit, it completely evaporates and completely becomes like, I don't even think about it. You've asked me, hey, name a first person show. You're like, but then Peep Show is there, like right there in the foreground. That's a first person show. Now it bounces, right? But the conceit of that show just doesn't feel. It feels like transparent after being familiar with it for years now. I guess But I guess what I'm saying is like I didn't realize how transparent it became. Like it just became like you didn't even notice that it was first person until you started to think about it. From what I understand, though, Mitchell and Webb talked about how shooting it though was very, very, very daunting. Like it was not fun to shoot that way because they basically have to act to a camera. And it wasn't like acting for real. It wasn't like acting with a stage partner. It was acting with a camera. And it just became kind of a grueling experience to shoot that show. Did the Peep Show guys do Succession too? I don't know. I don't know anything about Succession. I should probably get up the times and watch Succession. Probably do that. I started watching the next episode or series of The Foundation. Foundation, it's a little hard to get into, and maybe I just haven't been in the mood to watch it yet. But I haven't been watching a lot of shows at all. I only watched, I watched Peter Pan Goes Wrong, the live, and I watched Jersey Boys, and that's really all I watched. Other than that, I've been just being busy with, doing stuff, doing work and all that. Subjective camera, there you go. That's a good way. That's a better term than first person because it's not really first person. Subjective camera makes sense. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. It's such, I like if you were to ask, this comes up once in a while. They ask me, you guys, what kind of movie would you make if you had all the money in the world? And it would be in the realm of Peep Show. It would be a comedy with a commentary on life, but still a comedy. That's why I loved Woody Allen movies back when you can say his name in public and not be shunned. I still don't. I think the Woody Allen thing is still way more complicated than we want to even know. Like I don't know. It's to say that Mia Farrow and Woody Allen had a traditional home and family life would be a very, 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 very stretched interpretation of that word. Very, but the movies he made were like Annie Hall was one of the best. I was watching a little bit of Match Point the other night, and Match Point's not bad. Match Point has a very You guys ever seen Hail Caesar? Lawrence Lorenz, right? He's played by Ralph Fiennes in the movie Hail Caesar, and he produces these very stuffy British comedies, where you don't necessarily laugh, but you don't necessarily guffaw. No, so you just no, no, no. No, that's how you laugh in those movies. You don't go, you go, no, yes, right? And Matchpoint has that very much that, yeah, so she's fiance to his best friend, but he's having an affair with her. Yes. Jack Ripper says, I think Woody is innocent. Honestly, yeah. I mean, I'm 90% with you. The thing is, the Sun Yi thing's a little off, because I mean, she was probably of age when he, she's, but it is your wife's daughter. It's like some things you just gotta like not cross, and maybe it's a legal thing. I mean, he's not been charged with anything, and Mia Farrow has tried to throw everything at him. And Mia Farrow, I do not believe Mia Farrow was a good faith actor in this. No, I think she's a nutcase. I think she's absolutely crazy nuts. I'll just be saying that. I'll be honest. I don't think Woody Allen's innocent, but Mia Farrow is not there. And their home life, like as I understand it, like they had different apartments. They had a really weird relationship. Even she was married to Previn at the time too. And it's like, so. I mean, I don't want to shade it with Epstein stuff, but if you can imagine the lifestyles of the super rich and powerful, they didn't move to the suburbs and just get a house together and, a dog. And no, that's not them. That's not them. Woody Allen did make some awful movies. Yeah, probably. Hey, Bullet Sans, how you doing? I just got back from a flight from a film school. Glad I managed to catch you. Oh, welcome back. Did you ever get another position there? Hopefully you did something else that you're working on. So I don't think you were at the rental place because of the strike. Well, let me know. See if we catch up. Hollywood is full of trashy people. I can't believe any of them. Allen is a great director. Farrow's a great actress. That much I know, but both are great friends to Polanski. There you go. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, how much of your morality is because you can't do it versus how much of your morality is because you don't believe you should do it. Like if you could go and have multiple orgies with multiple people and have no consequence, do cocaine every night and, get all these orgies with strippers and all that. If you could, let's just say if that option was available, how do you know you wouldn't do it? Versus, I don't do it because I don't want to spend the money on cocaine and I don't want to spend the money on strippers. That's the only reason. I'm cheap. But if you had the money and you had friends maybe that were just like, hey, let's get some hookers and cocaine. I remember one time it was just so weird because I'm a choir boy essentially. I was driving this one girl that I really liked home. Like I was really madly in love, but I didn't tell her because I was a fool. And she had her friend who was this beautiful like a bodybuilder style, but not really a thin bodybuilder, not like a big muscle. And she was drunk. They're both drunk. They're both super drunk. And I was a choir boy because I had one drink and I was fine. I was driving them back, and she, the one girl, she was super drunk. She's like, I want cocaine. I want cocaine. And she was like, well, I'm like, where am I going to get cocaine? I don't know where to get cocaine. I wouldn't know. But, if you were, Hollywood rich and famous, yeah, you can get cocaine. Why not? So I don't know. I don't know if I would judge them. I think maybe it's hard to judge people like that. Mia forced him to spend time with her. Yeah, I know. That's why I said I think it's all It's all crazy. She married Sinatra when she was very young, and he was too old. He was old too. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Bullet Sign says, yeah, rental houses are no go. Doing some freelance work while it's here. Maybe you have a university. Yay, cool. That's awesome. Get some teaching. Teaching is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. You know, that's what this channel essentially is a teaching channel. But feel free to use any of my videos and your supplementary stuff. But I'm going to start teaching here next Thursday. So that's my first day back in the teaching saddle. And we already got a full class and probably some like drops, but it'll turn over a little bit. You make a standard mistake regarding Woody Allen. He has always been into young girls, just like his greatest movie. Yeah, it's true. However, his pathology of pedophiles is not into almost adults. However, the pathology of pedophiles is not. I don't know what it is, man. I'm not there. I just like his movies. I'm not gonna. You will never find me defending Woody Allen in a like. He's not a stand-up guy. I just don't think he's that. I don't know if he's that bad. I don't know. Guffam Ali says, first time watching you live. Well, welcome. Nicholas7777, hookers and cocaine, a great combination. Can't fault anyone for indulging. Yes, indeed. Hookers and cocaine definitely are my preferred Saturday pastime. When we get Jeeves over, he brings over a lovely line of cocaine. He surely does know how to roll a dollar bill. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. Hey, John, we're filming a feature film next year on Kodak Vision Film. I'm hyper stoked. That sounds like fun. Yeah, cool. I still got to shoot some. I need to get the film back out and get some camera. Right, 9D is the totally random question. Is it possible to live in Burbank without a car? Don't do it. Yeah, don't live in California without a car. Like, seriously, just get a car. Just get a car. I'm sorry. Guffam says, I'm a film historian, sir. Thank you very much. I'll take it. I don't know if I believe it, but I'll take it. I'm not that great of a historian. I'm a commentator. I think I'm somewhat of an artist, even though I'm not probably. I'm a mid everything. I'm just mid and everything. I'm just mid. I'm not the greatest, but I'm in the middle somewhere. I'm not drunk. I'm just drinking. It's just hot, and I'm hot. The old man says, I might not be clear. The point I'm making is that they're pedophiles who are into prepubescent children, and then they're also 17-year-olds. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to go down that road. Let's keep it kind of advertiser friendly, as YouTube will say. Believe me, the idea of a young girl is attractive on theory, but if you spend time with them, no. God, no. God, no. Give me I need the sadder but wiser gal for me. The sadder but wiser gal for me. That's what I mean my shapoopy, people. Find me my shapoopy. I'm gonna rip my shirt off in the theater and yell, I need my shapoopy. That's his shapoopy, shapoop, and then everyone's going to dance, shapoopy, shapoopy. This girl is right for me. All right. Yeah, in the mid, there you go. In the mid, you have plenty of room to stretch. Yep, you can go up, you can go down, you can go sideways. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I heard that the 70mm Oppenheimer film was 11 miles long. It takes the same amount of time to walk as it does to watch it. Well, no. I could never walk in 11 miles in 3 hours. 11 miles would take me it'd be about 15 minutes a mile. Well, it'd be closer to 20 minutes because if you're doing that long of a thing, you need to break. So yeah, it'd be 220 minutes, which is about it's almost 6 hours. So yeah. The LA traffic is so much fun. It is the greatest. It's awesome. Excuse me. How influential do you think drugs have been in Hollywood over the years, especially in the 70s cinema? Pretty influential, I imagine. So it's an interesting story. As I tell people the story because I read this once like in Rolling Stone or some bullshit. I don't know if it's true or not. But in the old days, what bands would do when they would want to come up with a new album, they'll get together and they'll do lots of cocaine and then they'll write music together and they're like, all right. And then that's how you create all the great 70s albums, like all the cocaine and drugs. And then you come up with this really cool, soundtrack. Well, the way they do it today, because corporate Hollywood and corporate music industry is so dominant, someone like Katy Perry, what they'll do is she'll invite like a bunch of composers, a bunch of pop music composers together, and they'll get together in this like secluded ranch or something like that. And what they'll do instead of cocaine, they'll ship in truckloads of sushi. So they'd just be eating sushi all the time, and they would all go in their separate rooms, and they would like come up with a hook. It's like in pop music, it's all about the hook, like do 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 do. So like a little hook that they can build the song with. So they all go in their separate rooms and they kind of like come up with hooks, and they eat sushi, just all this sushi, right? Because it's L.A. Everyone just eats sushi. It's like sushi, and then they'll come back into the room and they'll play their hooks. Hey, here's my hook. Doosh do do doosh do do do. It's like, okay, I like that. Doosh do do do. Oh yeah. Let's put those together, and they kind of come. And that's how they create Katy Perry's new album, is by all these different hooks. That's when you go on like Katy Perry's song, it's like you see it's written by, but it's like 10 different people because they all contribute a little bit in all these sushi infused like writing sessions. Anyhow, so if you're asking me, the modern corporate Hollywood is fueled by sushi, rice, and raw fish. That's how we get. Hope you enjoyed that lovely that lovely explanation. Thank you. I think Pacino did cocaine while making Heat. I don't know. maybe Pacino just is always like that. I'll go back to another comment. Old man says, I'm not making fun of you. That's his freaking username. Back on topic, I just pitched up French Connection Blu-ray. Happy to report it's not newly edited one. Yay! That's the one where they got rid of like the black guy or something like that. It's like, in order to not be racist, we're removing the black people from this movie. I think that's right? Because I think he was like a black criminal, and then they didn't want to show it that way. Ugh, lame. I'm also watching Sorcerer. Oh, that one looked kind of cool. I picked up in the same time. Yeah, Sorcerer. That was another Friedkin movie, right? Yeah. No, I want to watch some movies. Dang it. I gotta go. After this, I gotta go to the grocery store, pick up some food. I gotta go to the gas station, Costco, get some gas, and pump up the tire. One of my tires is low, and then I gotta go home, put the food away, and then I gotta probably take a shower and go to the theater. I'm gonna do another rehearsal tonight. So I'm rehearsing. Tonight was the start of Hell Week. Saturday, Sunday today, Monday, Tuesday we open for friends and family. Wednesday we open. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I get a break. And that's me. I'm playing second trumpet. I enjoy playing second trumpet in this show because it's like not as hard. I can and I get to harmonize, so I don't really need to. It's just weird when he asked me to play first. It's like, oh, culture shock! I gotta play lead. It's so weird. I don't get it. I have the chops to play lead. I just don't, it's just weird to switch. Maybe my lips also been messed up. You're way too optimistic about modern pop production. No, I just think I'm more realistic about past pop production. Like, like the thing that opened my eyes was when I was doing that video way back, like 8 years ago. I did that video about film noir. And I sat down and watched some of the film noirs, like the really, not the great ones, the ones that were the manufactured machinery content of the golden age of Hollywood, the golden studio system, right? Remember the studio system was if you worked in the studios as a DP, Monday you would go in and you start a movie, and then maybe you would wrap on a Friday, and then the next Monday you go and shoot another movie. There was no time to prep any stuff. There was no time to think about it. It was just a factory. It was just like churn. And the fact, so I watched that very first noir movie was like Man on the Third Floor or something like that. And it was okay. You saw some really cool elements in that movie, but it wasn't like, You didn't see any. You didn't see the kind of artistry, the passion behind the story. It was just content. It was just stuff being made by a studio. So I don't. So looking at it that way, I don't feel that the past is so rosy. I feel the past is full of just machined content, just produced. And in some essence, I think modern, it's the same thing we're having with modern Disney content. It's just chugging along, Anyhow, the Blues Brothers movie had a Coke budget. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And by Coke, you mean Coca-Cola. Of course, YouTube. That's what we all meant. Coca-Cola. Mm-hmm. Old man, they call it the N-word because I guess they were supposed to think a cop in the 70s didn't have a racist or bigoted bone in his body. Of course, it was done as a character. Yeah, well, there you go. Let's make it less racist by removing any kind of racism in the movie. Let's make it that, well, that's not how I'm trying to put it. I'm trying to say, let's make it less racist by basically trying to ignore racism. Let's do that. Let's just ignore racism in the past. Yeah. Yeah, The French Connection, Exorcist, and Sorcerer are one hell of a cinematic hat trick. I've yet to see Sorcerer. I gotta watch Sorcerer. Is the cameraman on adult film referred to as a DP? Not unless it's a gonzo one. If you guys know what gonzo means, you'll get that joke. If you don't, well... See, I always thought they called it gonzo because it was what you would see if you were Gonzo from the Muppets. He has that little hook, that little like pointy nose. So I thought gonzo pornography was basically the viewpoint of Gonzo the Muppet. But no, that's not the reason why they call it gonzo. Okay. See, I hope you guys are appreciating the fact that I'm educating you about the history of linguistics through depravity. Through total and utmost depravity, I'm presenting you like concepts of gonzo journalism. You can look up, if you're in Loathing in Las Vegas, Hunter S. Thompson. Look into those works while we're discussing such horrible things as pornography. Thank you. Isn't that a fluffer? Adult film question? Isn't that a fluffer? Isn't all things a fluffer? Is Gonzo a fluffer? No, I don't think Gonzo's a fluffer. If anything, that job might be falling upon, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good, maybe Schroeder. Okay. Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson. Yep. Aren't we all just bathing in the feel of moral superiority? We can bring up Hunter S. Thompson and pornography in the same discussion. It's all about gonzos. All right. Continuing about you saying middle in everything, but a great teacher for sure. Learned so much. Oh, thank you. You are so cool to say that because I need to hear that once in a while. I feel very mid. feel like I'm just clinging on. Luckily, I do have. I did this when my mom was at my house. I had a maid service come to help me just clean up because then my caretakers would also clean up, so it would help me out. And after she's passed, after she left the house, I still have them come. Like I don't want to sound like a snooty, like yeah, yes. If you really want your life to be better, you really should get a maid. Yes, you really should. I find that it's just impossible to exist without having servants, really. You know what I mean, right? I'm not being bougie here, am I? No. Yeah, it is like if you're a single person and you have if you have a job, having a person like a maid service come once a month to just do some harder things like scrub toilets and stuff like that, it is a luxury worth spending upon. It just takes a lot off your mind. It really does. So if you do that, maybe make coffee at home like like 3 times a week, and that will pay enough to pay for the maid once a month, or even 2 months. Bullet Science. Am I going to do the piece? Yeah, you came in here after I was talking about that. I've got the date set up for that. So I'm going to, not necessarily a training guide, but more about how to shoot, how to shoot, what you call it, live event. And so the thing with the maid, the topless maid, yeah, but the topless maid don't get much done, and they're always leaving they're leaving imprints everywhere. It's just a lot. You see a lot of the prints everywhere. It's just like, come on, let's get that mirror clean. You don't need to be rubbing up. Never mind. But I'm actually never there when the maids are there. Usually they come in after, like when I'm gone, and they have a key and they get in and they rummage through my stuff and take my awards and all that. What are your thoughts on American Movie? Is that the best movie about film? I haven't seen that American Movie. I don't think I've seen that one. You have to check it out then. American Movie. Is that a new movie or is that an old movie? American Movie. What news say? American Movie. Oh, maybe I have seen it. Oh, yeah, I think I saw that. It was a pretty good. My partner, filmmaker IQ, used to love that movie, American Movie. Have you seen the one about? There's one where Alec Baldwin plays an FBI guy, and he enlists a director, Matthew Broderick, into making a fake film, and the fake film is to try to catch these gangsters but the thing is, like, he's like, oh, we're just gonna make a fake film. We're gonna make it this front to like pretend like we're trying to spy on this gang, this mafia thing, and then then basically what happens is Alec Baldwin starts getting more and more into like becoming a filmmaker. So he starts, we have to get a director, we have to get a set, we got to get actors, but it's not really, it's an FBI sting. I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Old Man says, I went to filmmaking in Columbia College in Chicago before it really exploded into what it is today. Just watching 6 or 7 year film academy taught me more than I learned. Oh, that's sweet. Well, thank you very much. Wing It Productions, well, greetings, fellow movie aficionados. Yeah, how you doing? Oh, it's getting hot. I'm getting ready to burn off here. I think I started about 10:30. So we'll go for another 30 minutes. We'll survive. Emily Light likes my photo. The Last Shot, was that the name of it? The Last Shot. Search. Yeah, that's the name of it. The Last Shot. That was movie director, screenwriter finds a man to finance his latest project, but soon discovers that the producer is actually an undercover FBI agent working on a mob sting operation. It's a cute movie. It's not great, but it's cute, and I would recommend watching it. It's pretty good. The Last Shot. Maybe it's just my age, but like growing up in that time period of the late 90s, early 2000s, such a treasure trove of just quirky, interesting movies that I kind of hope, I feel like I'm hoping it's coming back. It's going to be coming back now. Like, and if you, what was it? Well, I was watching Film Threat, and Chris Gore was talking about how Ted Hope is a producer for like movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, stuff like that. Very, very pro indie. And he's saying, like, right now, it's the big studios have finally shown that they are not invulnerable. Like you saw what happened with Disney. And I've been saying this, and longtime viewers can note this, but I was saying back years ago is that Disney has nowhere to go but downhill, because they bought, they became the multi-giant behemoth. They could control everything, and guess what? No, Disney is tumbling. It's tumbling. It is cracking. Families are getting afraid to go to Disney. I mean, sure, Disney is still powerful. Disney is still, a big behemoth. Disney will eat your lunch and then bill you for it, But I feel like we're starting to realize that there are opportunities. There are, even like that, I didn't see that movie, Sound of Freedom. I don't really feel in the mood to watch it, but that movie, you know, took a good, good stand against the behemoths of the big studios. Not to say that everybody can approach the same strategy, but I'm just saying that there are opportunities, and it has become more and more so. We just have to figure out ways to monetize those opportunities. That's still the stumbling block. That's still how to. That's still going to be the what prevents independent film from making it, is how do you monetize. And I think we also have to stop being naive about the idea that it is not a if you build it they will come. It's not that. It is not if you build it they will come, because you go build it, no one will come, because it's like you have to market it and then people will come. So I don't know. I mean, if you're referring to video essays, there are some good ones and a whole lot of bad ones. Which one are you talking about? What am I referring? What do you mean what I'm referring to? How you doing, by the way? Appreciate your. I think you're the same guy that made the complimentary comments. That was nice of you. What Disney's rivals are gaining? I think. Well, I think in the theme park arena, there's other theme parks besides Disneyland. Movies, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of competition. I think Disney movies are going to be faltering. I think it'll maybe take some studio. Look at what's the biggest family movie, and it wasn't a Disney movie this year, right? It's Mario. Mario Brothers is the biggest family movie. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot more competition. A lot more competition. So be careful. Disney has a hit squad. Oh, here's something funny about us on YouTube there. Oh, it'd be a shame if something happened to your car there. Oh. Yuck. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame there, Mickey, that his tires got slashed. Yuck. Yeah, we're gonna beat the crap out of him. Oh, yeah. Okay, I can't do it. I can't do it. I was trying to think of just trying to imagine Donald Duck like breaking some shins. Okay, sorry. I don't hate I love Disney, right? I loved old school Disney. Mary Poppins is one of my favorite films. Or my favorite characters is Mary Poppins. And Mary Poppins isn't all Disney, but Pinocchio is one of I called my dad father because Pinocchio called his dad father. Called Geppetto father. Like most of my childhood, I called my dad father. I didn't call him dad. Like I kind of learn how to say dad because that's what's more American. What's more American is call your dad dad. In America, you don't usually call him father. Father. My Goofy is pretty good. I was trying to get in that Donald Duck, but I was like, I can't do a Donald Duck. I just can't do it. I can't do it at all. I'm really bad. Goodfellas with Donald Duck. Yeah, there's an animation out there somewhere, right? It's like, oh, you call me funny. Oh, gosh. What, me funny? That's if you haven't seen Jersey Boys, if you don't know Jersey Boys, so one of the Jersey Boys is this Frankie Valli. He's the lead singer, and the guy that kind of ran the show, or the band leader essentially, is named Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito. Do you know Tommy DeVito? You're right. He is Goodfellas. Tommy DeVito. What? Am I funny? How funny? How? Right? That's Tommy DeVito. So Tommy DeVito is played by Joe Pesci. Well, guess who's in Jersey Boys? Joe Pesci. But not the actor, the character of Joe Pesci, because Joe Pesci put Tommy DeVito in together with Bob Guardia, who was the songwriter for a lot of the stuff. So Joe Pesci, the actual stage actor Joe Pesci, that guy, that Joe Pesci, was friends with Tommy DeVito in the Four Seasons, and he basically helped create the band of the Four Seasons. That's right, Joe Pesci. And then he goes on and makes a movie, Goodfellas, with Tommy DeVito. whose actual name is like Tommy DeSalone or something like that. DeSimone, the gangster Tommy DeSimone. They changed the name, right, to protect whatever. So it got changed to Tommy DeVito, which ironic. I mean, it's interesting. It's all come together. It's all come together. So anyhow, all right. Can I just say this thing about Snow White? I really don't understand why all of the right wing critics are so hard about Snow White's casting. Like, they always say, well, it's supposed to be Snow White, not Snow Brown. Have you guys seen pictures of her? Like, she's Colombian, but she's not like brown Colombian. I'm gonna get in trouble. Is that racist to say? She's like super light skinned Colombian. So like, I don't like she. If you were to ask me like, who would you cast as Snow White? That girl, whatever, I forget her name. She looks like Snow White. Like, she just looks Snow White-ish. I mean, say what you will about the whole changing the plot of Snow White and all that. I don't care. You know, yeah, I agree. Oh, sure. But to call her like Snow Brown, come on. That lady is super pale. Like, she looks like Snow White, man. I don't understand why everyone's like, she's supposed to be white as snow, but no, like that girl she looks like a freaking Disney princess. I don't see the problem with that. I don't know. I'm just so weird. I guess I'm weird in that situation. Anyhow. Do you remember the opening scene in Swordfish? I've never seen Swordfish. Is that the movie? No, I don't. I've never seen Swordfish. Yeah, she's not brown. She's just brown. But she looks like Snow White. Like, she looks like the cartoon character. She's got that like super petite, cute look to her that she looks like Snow White to me. Maybe I don't see color. Ooh. Oh wait, that makes me racist nowadays. If you don't see color, you're a racist. You're a racist. Yeah, drama channels have to make some money. That's the truth. Isn't that true? That being said, Snow White should be only made with surrealist fairy tale in mind. I agree. I mean, I don't mind. It's Snow White and the seven diverse casted helper people. There we go. I'll call it that. Well, I've seen that. I've seen the Swordfish, the breast scene. Of course I have. Yeah, what do you think I am? Of course Snow White would be Colombian. It's purest snow. Hey, listen, Louis, we got the pure Snow White, pure Colombian sugar. Super good stuff. Stupid good stuff, Louis. Very good stuff. Am I completely getting rid of LOL Snow Brown? Yeah, she's not even brown. I don't get that. She's cute. She's super cute. It's about anti-whiteism and white replacement. Snow White was German. Is it though? I mean, she looks like Snow White. Like, how about this? If I didn't tell you what race she was, would you? What if she's like, you have no idea what race she was? Well, if you didn't tell her she was Colombian. Like, what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy. You know she's Colombian, right? She's British, but she's also Colombian. Let's see, or Bolivian. Anya Taylor-Joy. So Anya Taylor-Joy, let me look it up. Anya Taylor-Joy was born in Miami, Florida, the former banker, and she was birth name Miami. There's a fluke, okay. Her father is Argentine, of English and Scottish, so she's Argentine, and the son of a British father, so Anglo-Argentine, not Colombian, Argentine. But Argentine, I guess, but from like the British side of Argentina, right? Argentina. Oh, Jesus. Argentine. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Never mind. Oh, Ana de Armas, Cuban, yeah. Cubana. Ana de Armas. I saw, they're feeding me like some shorts of her. My God, she's beautiful. But, I mean, if you didn't know Ana de Armas and you didn't know her last name was that, I don't know what she's from. Italy. She looks like a little bit of Spanish, I guess. And yeah, maybe a little bit of Spanish. Yeah. But like this girl who's Snow White, could you tell me she's Colombian just by looking at her? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Now, Sleeping Beauty is different. Sleeping Beauty is like, at least in the Disney portrayal, is like this like Nordic girl. She's got blonde hair, but Snow White's got black hair. So she's got like black hair, and she's got that like little petite kind of figure and petite face, right? The very tiny face, like Gal Gadot. She's the evil stepsister or evil stepmother, right? Like Gal Gadot, what if she? She's Israeli, but how do you know she's Israeli? She looked kind of. Would you put her as French? Maybe, I don't know. All this, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Nicholas is the right idea. Hot chicks come in all colors. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. All God's children, all colors of the rainbow, except for green. God damn it! Not that fucking green. I'm not drunk. This is just regular tea. Don't worry about it. No, it is regular tea. I'm just hot and I'm feeling miserable. I'm getting ready to go. I'm tired. But yeah, no, they're all. Yeah, what happened to the old days? They just say like, yeah, that Snow White girl, she's pretty. She looks like Snow White. Yeah. So what if she's not pale as frickin' nay? Who cares? She's pale enough. Now if they hire like a really dark skinned black girl, and you say, well, that's kind of a stretch. I'm talking about the traditional fairy tales versions, not the bowlerized Disneyfied versions. Yeah, I know. So I was starting to because I did Little Mermaid, and I was curious about how Little Mermaid came to be, and good Lord, Hans Christian Andersen can be kind of dark, dude. So I was listening I got this book. It's a really good audio book. It's read by the guy in Amadeus, the guy that plays the Amadeus's rival, Ed Murray, Ed Murray Abrahams, something like that. F. Murray Abrahams. There he goes. Finally found it. Finally pulled it out of the file in my brain. F. Murray Abraham. There he is. Anyhow, so boy, I was listening to the original version of called the Tin Soldier. And God, it's a dark freaking thing. So basically, the Tin Soldier's story is like he's made of tin, but he's missing a leg, and then he gets played with, and like, oh, that's really cool. So but then he falls in love with the ballerina, like the little ballerina figurine sitting in the castle. But then one day, for some reason, like he gets thrown out in the gutter, and he has this epic journey down. The boys are playing with him and say, "Hey, can we make him float?" And he's floating down the river. He's floating, and then he gets swallowed by a fish, and he's inside the fish for a while. Then caught by the fishermen, and then they cut open, and then they're served. Then they find, oh my God, we found the toy soldier that was like the household that lost him actually bought that fish and he got it back. And then they were like, oh yeah, we got the fish. And then like you think it's going to end, and then like the maid throws the little tin soldier into the fireplace along with the ballerina, and they melt. And they burn the toy soldier, and he's dead. He melts down to a puddle of tin, and the little ballerina was made of paper. She's burned to a crisp, and all that's left is a little tin heart. Like, God damn, Christian Andersen. Jeez, dude, that was super dark. Yeah. Oh, so I loved Christian Andersen's version. He went to bed with a sign that said somebody killed him, or Eseth. Andersen wrote The Match Girl and another Happy Tales. Okay, maybe The Match Girl. I didn't get through that. But I was listening to The Little Mermaid. And The Little Mermaid was interesting because she's never named Ariel. That's a Disney thing. But The Little Mermaid situation is she longs to be part of the world, and then she saves a prince from dying. This is kind of similar stuff that happens in the Disney movie. And she goes to the Sea Witch. And the Sea Witch is like, okay, you long to be human, to live on the world above, because they have immortal souls. And then we merm people, we die after 300 years, and we die and we turn to sea foam, and that's all that becomes of them. But humans live a shorter lifespan, but they have an immortal soul and they go to heaven. Okay, so in order for you to have that, I'll give you legs. I'll take your fish bottom, and then you'll feel a massive pain, like someone slicing you in half. And then you will wake up with legs, and for your price of that, I will cut out your tongue so you cannot speak. However, in return, I'll make it so that you can dance like like the best dancer in the world. People will be amazed by your dancing. However, for having the best dancing skills, every step you take will feel like 1,000 knives cutting into your feet. That's what you bargained for, Little Mermaid. That's what you're gonna get. So she gets the little legs, and she's on the earth, and she meets the prince, and and the prince absolutely adores her, and friend zones her immediately. She is totally in the friend zone, and if she can manage to wed the prince, get the priest to make the prince forget about his parents and then make a life with you, then you will have, by the essence of marriage, get a little bit of that human soul into you, and you will become a real human person too. Well, guess what, Little Mermaid? That's not going to happen, because then the prince is going to be wed to the other princess over there, and they wed, and I didn't get this part of the book because I fell asleep, but I read the Wikipedia thing and then so the Little Mermaid thinks that she's going to kill the prince with a knife. So she's about to, in order to do that, she's about to kill him, but she can't bring himself to it, and then she dies, and her mer sisters come and take her and let her die, and she becomes like sea foam and air, and wow, nice. Under the sea, under the sea. Wow, Hans Christian Andersen, my God. Oof. Oh, God, Hans Christian Andersen. I didn't realize he was so damn dark. Meow Meow says my Andersen story in Weep. That's the little tin soldier story. That's Hans Christian Andersen. That's some freaking dark shit, man. That's some dank stuff. Wow. What reference to the Little Mermaid ran? What animal would you choose to be mixed with to become an animal from the waist down? Probably a horse. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. The Little Mermaid got her legs to turn into a toad. No, she didn't turn into a toad. She just got. You imagine every step she took felt like 1,000 knives cutting into her flesh. So the whole story, like, Disney made it about true love, and then there's a line in the Disney musical. He's like, the most powerful destructive force in the universe, teenage hormones. So it made the whole thing kind of about teenage hormones, but it wasn't, because the Little Mermaid and Hans Christian Andersen's story wasn't about love. She wasn't in love with the prince, yes, but she wanted to be human. She wanted to be like she wanted the human spirit and to be in the afterlife, in the immortal soul of a human being. That's what she wanted, not the prince necessarily. Right? And then they made it all about the prince and falling in love and all that crap. I'm on fire today. I'm hot. I'm always on fire. I'm hot. It's a hot day. So anyhow, that's what I talk about, The Little Mermaid. See, we talked about gonzo pornography. We talked about, Woody Allen. We talked about Little Mermaid. What don't you get from these live streams? Why are they not super popular? I think I know why. Hey, Helium Road, how you doing? More Disney talk, huh? We're talking about Hans Christian Andersen. Andersen's in town. Remember that movie, Hans Christian Andersen? That's my only experience with Hans Christian Andersen. Remember that movie, Hans Christian Andersen? Let's see, what's this guy's name? Hans Christian Andersen movie. It was played by that one guy, Danny Kaye. That was in Singing in the Rain. Danny Kaye was Hans Christian Andersen. I remember watching that movie as a young child without realizing how freaking dark Hans Christian Andersen is. Like, I remember, so he did Ugly Duckling, Thumbelina, The King's New Clothes, which, you know, I listened to F. Mary Abrahams narrate The King's New Clothes. There's certain perversity about it because, so the whole thing was, these clothes are so fine that if you don't see them, it's because you're either stupid or you're unfit for your position. So it's almost sort of like a corporate, like a slam down on business corporates. You know, obviously, the whole corporate mindset, the kind of the office space kind of thing is basically the same thing as courts back in the old days, bureaucratic nonsense and all that. So it's not like it's new, right? But it's like, and then everybody's like, well, I know I'm not stupid, but I don't see any clothes, and I must be unfit for my job. Well, I better not tell anybody about this, so I'll just pretend to know I see the clothes on the emperor. Like there's like more. Anyhow, everything that survives, there's always more to it, and it's fun to kind of look through it. Something you think you knew all about, the King's New Clothes, but if you look into it deeper, there's more to it. Anyhow, I just like talking about it. I just like yakking. Sorry about that, guys. All right. That was Donald O'Connor and Gene Kelly, racist. No, that was Danny Kaye. I don't even know who Donald O'Connor is. Most fairy tale stuff is super dark in its original forms. It can be, yeah. I mean, some stuff isn't. Like the original Perrault version of Cinderella is Disney version. I mean, there's a couple things a little darker, like they cut off the stepsister's toes and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of icky factor. But when you're telling that to kids, it's like, yeah, and then her foot wouldn't fit, so they cut off her toes. Oh my God, they cut off her toes, and it was full of blood and ew. Oh, gross, blood. Yeah, and so once the prince found out and poured all the blood on the floor, he's like, this is not the girl. So he went back and said, do you have any other girls? And it's like, no, we have this one wretched urchin, Cinderella. Ew, Cinderella. But you know what? The shoe fit her. It was just fine. So it's dark because it makes you imagine it. They're not showing you the cutting off of the toe. Half Asian horse sounds like an A24. That'd be a quarter Asian. So it'll be a quarter horse, quarter Asian. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, the tin soldiers aren't dark. They are real. How many steadfast soldiers being handicapped died like that in the real world? Maybe that was that makes sense. The whole ordeal of tin soldier, he gets thrown into the fire. And it melted. Wow, dark. Because you strip away the context of it. You put in the context like this is kind of a metaphor for like the way you treat soldiers in battle. Okay, it makes sense. But you strip away the context, you think it's like a children's story. Like, oh my God, it's super dark. I wished I had been named Wolfgang. It's not too late, dude. Yeah, just go to the courthouse. Get yourself a new name. F's in chat for F. Murray Abraham. Well done. Went down the wrong hole there. That's what she's... Okay. Kids love dark stuff. When I was little, I hated when things were toned down. Like Star Wars, Luke's family bring burned bodies right there on screen. There you go. It's true. Kids kids aren't fragile. They want to be treated like adults. So we should treat them like adults and make them pay taxes. Damn it. All right. Freaking out kids needs to make a comeback. It just sounds like fun to mess with little kids' heads. My dad did it all the time. Absolutely. 100% agreed. Dark is subjective. Yes, that is true. It is dark. It is dark. I want the kids to grow up realizing the Tin Man will be melted into a puddle. Puddle tin. Oh, man. I am so hot. I'm not on fire. I'm just hot. It's just hot. It's hot in here. It's not that hot of a day. Like for all I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, all these news articles, they're trying to rename global warming, global boiling. It's hot, but it's not as hot as last year, honestly. It's warm. I'm surviving. I'm okay. I'd rather go do something else, and I will do very soon. But It's not that hot. All my YouTube commercials are Doc. Doc. Have I seen Watership Down? No, I don't even know what that is. Watership Down. What is that? Search. Animated series. Oh, cool. English author Richard Adams. Published by Rex Collins. Set in Hampshire. Watership Down. That's about bunnies. Well, you got my attention now. They live in natural environment in burrows. They are anthropomorphized, possessing their own culture, language, proverbs, poetry, and mythology, evoking epic themes. The novel follows rabbits as they escape the destruction of their warren, and seek a place to establish a new home. The hill on Watership Down, encountering perils and temptations along the way. Sounds like a fun book. All right, cool. Check it out. It's got bunnies. I like bunnies. My bunnies, however, do not like me, so therefore, we have a problem. No, I love they're starting to like my bunnies. Oh, you had hail and snow last week there in the middle of summer? Well, that's just global boiling, guys. Come on. Filmmaker, I keep doing more, to bring more. I just have to do more. That's the thing. I just gotta like actually get to work, you know. And I got 2 more in the works right now. Macau. Watership Down is a dark cartoon. Well, it must have been based on the book, right? It's about the bunnies, right? Or is that something else? Watership Down. Not about the bunnies? It's a Watership Down about the bunnies, and then there's a Canadian television show that's about bunnies as well, right? So it's based on the book. Yeah, it's about the bunnies. And there's a movie too. It's an animated drama. John Hurt. Yeah. Yep. It's about the bunnies. I was looking at the book version. All right. Where's Matthews? I don't know. He'll be here eventually. He'll come in the comments. Just go look at the comments. He'll be there. Don't ask me in what rate of absence. There you go. Exactly. I watched Speed Racer when I was 4, and lots of death and destruction, shooting, fiery car crashes, etc. There you go. Watership Down is animated bunnies, but it's totally adult themes. Well, I mean, it's based on the book, right? I think the book came first. That's what I was talking about, the book. Let's see. Or does the book come second? I don't know. Where is it? Where'd the book go? Where's the ambulated edition? Yeah, 1972 novel. What's the book? I mean, it's kind of like, the idea is like, it's kind of like an Animal Farm, right? Because you take like animals, anthropomorphize them, and then use that as a metaphor to talk about current society or whatever society you want to talk about. Yeah. Oh, it's legendary for its darkness. Well, so is Animal Farm. Animal Farm's very dark too. When fairy tales were told and written for years, they weren't age classified for children. I want to bring back mindset like what Angela Carter did with the Bloody Chamber. Ooh, Bloody Chamber, what's that? I'm kind of curious. Bloody Chamber, book by Angela Carter. Collection of short stories speak the big narrative, deal with issues of... collection of 10 stories, The Bloody Chamber, The Courtship of Mr. Lion, The Tiger's Bride, Puss in Boots, Earl King, The Snow Child, The Lady of the House of Love, The Werewolf and the Company of Wolves, and The Wolf Atlas. The tale is very great in length, with the novelette The Bloody Chamber being more than twice the length of any other story, and more than 30 times the length of the shortest vignette in The Snow Child. The collection's content also reprinted Carter's Burning Your Boats. What was that, 1979? Cool. Oh yeah, Bloody Chamber is based on Bluebeard. Bluebeard is another... I'm surprised Bluebeard hasn't been much... They haven't done a whole lot of that in popular media. Because Bluebeard is dark, is like a dark enough that you can do some things with it, but it's not super well known, I guess. I think Bluebeard would be one that people could make a movie out of, or at least lots of movies out of. It is public domain. So, there's Matthews. We were talking about you. Matthew says, I think all Disney's adaptation of fairy tales, Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, changes more source material. At least it changes are mainly made to the story lighter. I think Cinderella also is very close to the Cinderella. Remember, Cinderella's also got a lot of different versions. Like I want to say there's a Grimm's brother version of Cinderella, but it's very different. And the Disney version of Cinderella is based on the French version, the French take of it, the Perrault. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyhow. Yeah, the first Mission Impossible was a Brian De Palma movie. Yeah, very much a Brian De Palma. Heat 2 is officially in production. I didn't even see Heat 1, I don't think. All right. Yeah, I like watching the book before watching the movie. You watch the book too? I'd like to watch it go by. No, I like watching the movie first, and then they'll tell me whether it's worth reading the book or having the book read to you by an audiobook. All right. I love the work of boutique labels such as Criterion, Kino, Loewe, Studio Canal, and Discotheque Media to realizing so many classes on Blu-rays and 4K. Yep. That's true. I am so hot. What do I think about Snow White casting in Seven Doors? All I can see is the popcorn YouTube dramas. I think Snow White's casting is fine. I think the Seven Doors are dumb. Like that was dumb. They could just kept it with the dwarves. It's gonna do as well as Peter Pan. I keep getting ads on because I went and saw Peter Pan Goes Wrong. They think I want to watch the Disney Peter Pan. Like no, I don't want to watch your stupid Peter Pan movie that doesn't understand a damn thing. That's the thing. So Peter Pan Goes Wrong. I'm gonna talk about it real quick before I get going because I need to get going. Peter Pan Goes Wrong manages to poke fun at Peter Pan while still at heart being a good Peter Pan story because it understands the larger complications of Peter Pan, the thematic elements of Peter Pan. It like stuff that when I first watched Peter Pan as a kid, I had no understanding like why Peter Pan was the way it was. Like it didn't really even appeal to me that much. But watching like the British theatrical tradition, the pantomime tradition of Peter Pan, and there was so they have to train the audience. I'm just going to take a sidetrack. They have to train the audience, the American audience, to like be okay with booing Captain Hook. In pantomime theater in the UK, I'm just speaking as an outsider. If you're, what I've observed, right? You're supposed to boo Captain Hook. He comes out, boo, boo, right? And the way they play it, because the character is so like kind of like high stuffy kind of guy, he reacts negative to it. He's like, "Oh, boo yourself, people!" So one part of the thing where he's got the bottle of poison. He's going to poison Peter Pan. I'm spoiling for you. Sorry if you're saying it. He's going to spoil. I don't know how much of this is improv or not. He's got a hook and he's trying to like open it with his hook. He's like doing the whole thing. And everyone's like, boo, boo. And he gets pissed off. He's like, okay. And then he gives it like, you child, open it for me. And the child like opens it because there's a bunch of children there. He opens it, gives it back. He's like, boo, boo. See, how do you like it when you do it? It's like, thank you, child. Thank you so much for helping me murder Peter Pan. Sorry. Oh, I just love that part. Anyhow. So, yeah, the Peter Pan Goes Wrong is actually a very, very good representation of Peter Pan, of the themes of growing up, about living would be such a great adventure, and it's so heartwarming in that sense. And why would I want to watch the Disney version of Peter Pan? Why? Not the new one. It's awful. It's terrible. It's it's Wendy doesn't even need fucking Peter Pan. Well, screw that. Anyhow. All right. The dwarves and Snow White are pretty much magical creatures already. They're not anything like hero humans, and they aren't more racist than the other dwarves or Tolkien are. I know. That's so dumb. But, Disney got to Disney-fy. Disney's got to be Disney. So, just remember this. When you see... Here's how you should think about this, right? I totally believe this in my heart of hearts. That when Disney loses $1 billion, that money doesn't just evaporate. That money doesn't just go into thin air, right? And Disney spends a couple $100 million making Indiana Jones. Disney spends couple $100 million. It doesn't just like vanish to the bottom of the ocean. No, it goes into the pockets of people like me. And I'm okay with that. It goes in the pockets of tradespeople. It goes in the pockets of hopefully better VFX artists. Maybe they're going to unionize and get some more money because they've been abused for a long time. It goes in the pockets of a lot of people, a lot of working people. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm okay with them spending money and giving people money, and those people will now go and they will buy a car. Or they'll pay a payment on their house. They'll put food on their family. They'll pay for some surgeries. They'll do all kinds of stuff with that money. I don't feel bad. It doesn't, if they want to lose all that money, it is what it is. But somebody gets paid, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all with that. All right. All right. What other comments? You guys can keep arguing about the animation or doors and all that stuff. But all right, I am going to get going. It is hot. I need to go get some gas. I need to get some food and all that jazz. I'll be back next week, probably Saturday, because I can do a Saturday. My thing's late at night, or not late. It's at night. I can do a Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to be doing a class this week. I'm going to be working on some scripts and some other stuff, and trying not to boil myself to death here. All right, guys, we shall see you later. I'm going to end the stream. Here we go. And fade to black. 3, 2.